the NBA draft just occurred, and the Chicago Bulls have made their selection on who they expect to be a big piece in the future of this team. Now, I did wait a little bit before we uploaded this video, mainly because I didn't really know what was going to happen. I didn't know if Dalen Terry, the man that the Bulls drafted with the 18th overall pick, I didn't know if he was going to be ended up moved in a trade the very next day or what things were going to look like. But after everything we've been seeing, after the summer league practices we've been seeing, and all the good reports coming out, I don't expect him to be included in a trade, at least not this very moment, this summer. I expect him to at least play this season with the team. So we are finally going to be doing this video. That's the main reason why we didn't have it up right away when it happened. But if you enjoy this video, give me a like. If you enjoy this channel and you enjoy daily content, which this channel for the most part is, why not subscribe? I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year, and I can't do that without your guys' help. But let's not waste any more of your time. The Chicago Bulls now have a new toy. Dalen Terry was picked with the 18th overall pick in the first round of the NBA draft this year. He's a guard out of Arizona, and I think he is quite a surprise for the most part for the Chicago Bulls. I don't think a lot of people actually knew who this was, and definitely didn't expect him to be the pick at 18. And for me, I had heard of him. I hadn't known a lot about him, but I definitely didn't expect him to be the pick for the Bulls. I didn't even have him in my video on projected picks the Bulls could potentially take. So first, let's start with his intangibles, the things that you just have. You either have it or you don't have it. It can't really be taught, and that's what I'm going to start with. First, his body, his physical body. He's 6'7", 6'6" without shoes, I believe is what he was rated at the combine. But when are you never wearing shoes, especially when you're playing basketball? So 6'7", very good size. He is a guard, although I likely will see him playing the 1 through 3 role. Could be point guard, shooting guard, or small forward. But he is listed at a guard at 6'7", which I believe was the third tallest guard at the combine. 7-foot wingspan, a very, very big wingspan, especially for the size. It's a really good thing to have. Not only is it helpful on defense, but also just in like catching passes that are maybe thrown a little bit too high, dunking, all that stuff is going to help. 7-foot wingspan is very good. And 195 pounds, which isn't too big, but it's not too small. I think that's a pretty good area to be in. Maybe he could put on a little bit more muscle, but I think the weight that he is at this current moment fits him very well. Sometimes you worry about him being, like, players being too thin. I don't think he's quite too thin, but he could put some more muscle on, and I expect him to put more muscle on once he's in the NBA because of the training staff and everything like that. Other intangibles, like on the mental aspect, all that, is he's an extremely, extremely hard worker. After the first practice for Summer League of the Chicago Bulls, they apparently did a vote for whom the hardest worker was at that practice that day, and the team voted that Dalen Terry was the hardest worker at that first practice. That's very good news, especially that a guy that just got to the team, his first practice ever, and everyone already has such high regards to him, especially the other teammates. That's something you like to see. He also has a little bit of dog in him. Apparently him and Patrick Williams were going back and forth a little bit. We don't know what they were going back and forth on. I'm sure it was just a little bit of competition, smack talking a little bit, nothing too bad. But that is good to know because that means that he wants to win. He's going to go out there and compete on the physical aspect as well as the verbal aspect. I do like a little bit of trash talk here and there as long as it doesn't go too far. I think Patrick Williams and him trash talking is only going to lead to both of them getting better because they're going to want to prove the other one wrong, as well as he is a very high motor, and sometimes that can be a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing for him. High motor means a hustler. He's able to dive for an open ball if he sees an opportunity to go on a fast break, whether on offense or defense. He's likely going to be the first one there, sprinting down the court on a dunk or just to try and make the shot a little bit harder on the defense side of things. A really, really high motor. He's going to keep working. Even when he's tired, if he's on that court and you want him out there, he's going to put it all out there. He's going to go past 100% if that's what the team wants him to do. Extremely, extremely versatile. Like I said, he's likely to play 1 through 3 role. Not only does his size help, he's a decent shooter. He can pass very well. We're going to talk about all that stuff in a little bit here and talking stats, but definitely a versatile player. Defensively, I could even see him possibly in a small ball lineup playing a power forward role, and I wouldn't be too surprised at that. 6'7". A lot of larger. Now I'm thinking about a lot of larger guards on this roster. I think Zach's. Gosh, I don't want to be wrong. I think Zach LaVine's like 6'6". That could be wrong. I think Lonzo's pretty tall. I would assume, I don't think is extremely tall. Alex Caruso, I believe, is pretty tall. Some decent-sized guards on this roster, and he only adds to it at 6'7". I think that adds a lot to him being versatile. You're going to allow yourself to, if you're not doing enough at the point guard position or shooting guard position, you can go play that backup small forward or vice versa. Also, extremely athletic kid, not only in the jumping ability, which I believe is what most people think of when you say athletic, but he's very, very fast. In fast breaks, he's almost always getting an open dunk just because he's faster than everybody else. When he gets a steal, he is immediately running down the court for just any sort of layup, dunk, pass out, all that stuff. And he's also cultured. Now, I'm not talking like, I don't even know what you would call cultured if I brought that up to you. I'm speaking, he tweeted, and it's kind of sarcastic, but he tweeted that he watched The Last Dance 30 times from draft day to the first time he was in the arena or in the facility, and he said, I'm starting to feel like Mike. I think that's kind of funny. That's what I mean by cultured. A lot of very good intangibles, not only for the physical aspect of his game, but also he's willing to leave it all out there, and that's something that you love to see in a young guy, or anyone in general. Now let's talk some stats. Now we don't have a lot here. I believe he only played 2 years in college for an Arizona team that had plenty of scorers. He was almost the fourth option, I think, for the most part. But we can still talk stats, and I think it's good to look at stats always. I think you got to be able to do the eye test and the statistical test. But let it be known, although some of these statistics might not be too high, you got to think in college, the game's shorter. You're often rotating a little bit more in and out, and just overall, sampling size is smaller, not playing as many games. A lot of things are coming into play here. So even if a guy's not doing incredible in the college atmosphere, they could turn out to be very, very good in the NBA. Let's talk stats, though. 8 points per game for him, and all these stats are just from his sophomore year. Freshman year, you don't expect a lot out of him. He obviously took a step forward in pretty much every statistical category, but 8 points per game last year, 50% was his shooting split. I figure that's very important. He only shot about 6 shots a game, so him having 8 points per game wasn't like he can't score. It's just he didn't need to score. He wasn't a primary scorer. 6 shots per game, that's not much at all. 50% is a very good shooting split. And 8 points per game, especially when you're looking at the number of shots, is not too bad. You expect him to definitely step that up. Excuse me. When he enters the NBA, if he starts getting more shots. And he was also a 36% three-point shooter, so just right below that 40%, which is an elite shooter, 36%. Now, that is college three-point range. As we all know, NBA three-point range is a lot farther out. But, again, 36% is very good. And for the most part, I feel like if someone's a good shooter in college, it kind of just works over. They find a way to just be as good when it comes to the NBA. And he also... He adds to the dunk show. This team is full of dunkers. You lose Troy Brown Jr., but you still have Javonte Green. You still have Zach LaVine. Lonzo Ball can even dunk for you. DeMar DeRozan can dunk for you. Lots of dunkers on this team, and he adds to it. There were so many highlighted dunks in transition or an open field from an oop. He adds to the dunk show, and he also helps on the other side of dunks. His assists, he had 3.9 assists per game. Again, not a bunch, but let it be known he had 1.4 turnovers per game, so about 2-to-1 ratio, which is good. You'd like to see that improve. But he has the ability to make extremely tough and extremely flashy passes. And I'm talking oops for dunks. I'm talking bounce passes between two defenders. I'm talking looking like he's going up and tossing it like this. Tough full court passes on transition. He can make plenty of passes for you, which is very good. Especially with the guys that are on this team, DeMar, Zach, Vooch, they're able to get open, and him being able to make a pass to them, even if it's a tough situation, like they're coming down to double on him, is going to only make the rest of the team better. And he also easily finds the post-up man. This is something really good, especially for Vucevic, who I feel like didn't get the shot opportunities that he, was used to with the Magic and also deserves. I think Vooch struggled last year, let it be known. We all kind of know that. But he definitely is still one of the top 10 centers in the league. And having a guy like Dalen Terry, who is consistently finding the guy in the post, whether that's tossing it over the defender, bounce pass to him, or an oop, he's consistently finding the post-up man, and that's going to be good news for Vooch. That's going to allow for more shots for Vooch, and just plenty of good things are going to come from Dalen Terry's ability to not only find the guards in fast break or the centers and low in the post. Lots of good things are going to come from his passing ability, along with the fact that you already have Zoe, Io, and Caruso, who all have extremely good passing abilities. Lots of good things to come. He also had 4.8 rebounds per game. Now, that's not incredible, but he's 6'7". 4.8 rebounds is pretty decent, and for a team that kind of struggled in that department last year, I think I only expect that number to go up. The more minutes that he gets, 4.8 is definitely very good. He'll probably get somewhere around that when he is playing if he's getting decent minutes, just because the team struggled with that last year. Yes, you bring in Andre Drummond, who Dalen Terry would likely run with on that second team or third team, but I think the ability to have a guard that can also rebound is only good news. Now, on the defense side of the ball, he was not incredible on the blocking. I think 0.3 or 0.4 was his average, but he had 1.2 steals per game. Very good news. Add to a team that struggled on defense, especially with Alex Caruso and Lonzo Ball missing some time there. 1.2 steals per game, uses his wingspan very, very well. He's able to jump passes, and he can anticipate moves, jump in front of people. Very, very good things to see there. And he was also the Pac-12. He was also on the Pac-12 all-defensive team, and that only shows further how good of a defender he is if you're on the defense team. It's pretty much the same thing as all NBA defense, all defense team, all that stuff. Average 28 minutes per game. I don't think he'll average that in the NBA, at least not for a few years here, just because of the ample depth that this team already has at the guard position. But I could see him getting somewhere around that 10 to 20 range, maybe in that middle right there, would be pretty decent number. But honestly, for a guy that maybe a lot of us Bulls fans didn't fully understand when the pick came in, especially for some of the other options that were on there, I'm actually very happy with this Dalen Terry pickup. Not only does it add depth and potential, a lot of potential here, you could grow into a starter, let that be known. Adds depth, cheap option here, allows you to move some pieces if you want to move on from Kobe White. You can use this. You have some youth, and now you bring in some elderly play and guys like Goran Dragic and Andre Drummond. He can shoot for you. He can pass for you. He brings so many just great aspects to the game, to this roster. I think Dalen Terry was actually a very good pickup for this roster. So comment down below, what do you guys think? Are you happy with this pickup? Was there another guy that you would have rather had? And just how do you expect him to fare with this team? Do you think he'll be like an Ayo Dosunmu that will instantly come to this team and be an important piece on this roster? Or is he going to be a longer-term prospect? Comment down below what you guys think. If you enjoyed this video, why not give me a like? And if you really enjoy this video and you're coming back on a consistent basis anyways, why not subscribe? I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I can't do that without your guys' help. I have daily content for the most part. We're going to get back into the groove of things. A little bit of a slow pace right there. I had vacation, everything, every single sport that I watch is in the off season right now. But we're going to probably get back to daily content or every other day. I do NBA, NFL, and NHL content. And as always, I hope it taught you something today. Hope it made you smile. Hope it made you laugh. That something's really important to me. Affects someone else's day in a great way. Because every single day can be a great day if we all put in the effort. And as always, you guys all be safe out there.
But something deep inside won't let me